What's up, America, world, YouTube? This is Walter coming to you once again, trying to do my best to combat some ignorance. I'm in my office again, as you can see. I'm here watching a black Israelite who's on there. The name of the tag is forgive me if I pronounce it correctly. Is Mount of Jacob. I don't know. I'm doing my best with it. I haven't seen that word before or anything close to it. But I was intrigued. I was originally watching a series, that they had that said talking about the Israelites, the original Israelites being black, people in the Bible, people in the Bible being black, which they were. And I love African American history. I love people who try to educate our community, so I was watching. Then I saw a tab for a series of videos called The Demons Are Out. And the title intrigued me, so I went to watch it. Now, I'm a person who I went to private Christian school my whole life. Well, for the majority of my education, at least from the 6th grade all the way up into high school. So for 12 years of schooling, I went to from 6th all the way up into 12th grade. So I had a pretty long stay in private Christian school. It was a black private Christian school, I should say. So try to repeat what I'm trying to say by saying I was educated by the white man, the devil. And I minored in religion and philosophy in college at a historically black college university called the Philippine University, Daytona Beach, Florida, founded by a man called Blasphemy, corrupt, at your leisure. But basically, what I want to do is I want to come against the strange and perverse doctrine being taught in this video, especially video number 4. The title is called "The Demons Are Out," and I fully welcome a response from you 3 young men. I hope one comes up. Because I don't know if it's due to saying these things due to ignorance, or if you truly believe what you're saying to yourself. The devil's got a hold of your mouth, but Jesus did have an immaculate conception, and it's talking about. And I'm going to use the very verses you used, one of which had absolutely nothing to do when Jesus was written. A long time before Jesus was even born. Let's go to Genesis 24:67, which is the first verse you brought out. And I'm reading out of the King James Version of the Bible. It says, And Isaac brought her unto his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and became his wife. And she became his wife, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Okay, don't know where this came from. This has absolutely nothing to do with Mary or Joseph or Jesus. And just to give a little backstory, one of my professors always said, be really careful when someone tries to use one verse, which is what you did, and what you did, the next time you tries to use one verse out of the Bible to make a point. This is basically what happened in chapter 24. Abraham is getting ready to die. And he didn't want his eldest son Isaac to be wed to a Canaanite woman, so he told his, this is all in the, the chapter. Don't take my word, but I encourage you to read it on your own. But for time's sake, I'm not going to go down and read all 6 or 7 verses. But he told his eldest son to go back to his homeland and to go on, basically send him on a quest to find an attractive woman for his son to marry. And by the time we get to verse 62, the servant is when he's made the request, the goods have been exchanged, for the guy's daughter. Rebecca's never even seen Isaac before. Isaac is meditating in the fields. In verse 63 it says, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field, and eventide he lifted up his eyes, and he saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebecca, who had never seen Isaac before this time, lifted up her eyes at verse 64, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted herself off the camel, for she had said unto the servant, what man is that walketh in the field to meet us? Who was her husband, who she never seen before, because it's the first time coming to Canaan. And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took the veil and covered herself, and the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done, about what his father said, and about the quest he'd been on. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after her mother's death. Now, as far as him taking her, I don't know if that alludes to sex, and even if it does, it doesn't have anything to do with Mary and Joseph. I don't know if you tried to tie it in, because the next verse in Matthew's 1 verse 24 uses the same language. I mean, but it could imply sex here. But usually in the Bible, when they imply sex, they say to know. Much like the men of Sodom and Gomorrah came to Lot's. I'm finding Matthew's now. Came to Lot's house, and they sought to know the angels. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah was condemned. But let's just get back, to the verse that actually had something to do with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. In Matthew chapter 1, and he started off at verse 24, which is the only verse you read, which is where you messed up, because had you read any of the verses before or after, you wouldn't be out here on this corner making a fool of yourself. And I do agree the demons are out, and the demons are you three men in this African attire, spitting these heresies on the corner. And that's not me saying it because I'm against anything, because I'm manipulated by the white man. It's just because you obviously have not read the Bible, because if you did, you wouldn't have said the thing you said. I'm going to prove it to you right now. The verse you used was verse 24. It said, "Then Joseph, being raised from his sleep, that as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife." Okay, now, at first glance, it could seem like he had sex with Mary, which he didn't, and you would know that if you didn't just pick verses, then you actually read the whole chapter. Now, let's go, and one thing you learn is that in the Bible it says God is not the author of confusion. So let's go and let's get a little background. Let's read and start reading at verse 23. It said, "Behold, the virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel," which being interpreted is God with us. All this is in the Bible. Now, that was 23. Now we're at verse 24, the verse you read. "Then Joseph, raised from his sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife." Verse 25, "And knew her not till she brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus." And if you would have gotten up to the 25th verse, you would be looking stupid right now. He couldn't have had sex with her because the 25th verse said he didn't have sex with her until after she had Jesus. So that proves that Jesus had an immaculate conception. His mother was a virgin, and God being the author of confusion, and God not being the author of confusion, which he's not, he wouldn't cite his word, which he wouldn't cite the prophecy he gave someone. Say it's going to tell how the prophecy he gave is going to come to pass. In the 21st, and then in the 24th verse, nullify his own prophecy, and then in the 25th verse, say it came to pass again. It doesn't make any sense. That's confusing, and God isn't the author of confusion. Has you made it down, just like I said, and there are many other instances where knowing in the Bible alludes to sex. And let's just go to Genesis. Let's just go to Genesis. When Adam and Eve had their children, that's the one that comes to mind, and it's very easy to find. All you have to do is go to the beginning of the Bible. And just give me 1 second. Okay, and it says that Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. And that's in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. I'll read it again. And Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare his son Cain. Matthew, the chapter you use, verse 25 from chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 25. And we now start at 24 for the sake of argument with the verse you use. "Then Joseph, being raised from his sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him,